Stars are born, they shine, and one day, they die. But some don't just die, they explode. Now imagine, what if one of these explosions happened near Earth? What would happen to the planet, the atmosphere, and to us? Get ready to find out. Stars are giant nuclear furnaces. For billions of years, they convert hydrogen into helium, releasing light and heat. But that fuel doesn't last forever. When it runs out, the star collapses. In some cases, this collapse results in a colossal explosion, a supernova. This event releases more energy than the sun will emit in its entire lifetime. If it were to happen near Earth, its effects would be devastating, even from thousands of light years away. A supernova occurs when a very massive star exhausts its fuel and undergoes gravitational collapse. The core implodes, and the outer layers are hurled into space in an unimaginable explosion. In just seconds, the star releases as much energy as the sun does over billions of years. This explosion generates radiation, high-energy particles, and shock waves that travel through space. If we are nearby, this brutal release of energy could affect our system in irreversible ways. If a supernova occurred thousands of light years from Earth, we would see an extremely bright point in the sky, visible even during the day. But if it happened around 50 light years away or closer, the effects would be dangerous. The radiation could destroy the ozone layer, exposing Earth to the sun's ultraviolet radiation. This would affect entire ecosystems. Even without a direct physical impact, life would suffer severe biological consequences. The distance between us and the star is the line between spectacle and catastrophe. A nearby supernova could outshine all the stars in the sky, even the moon. For weeks or months, its brightness would be so intense that there would be a bright night. This would affect the circadian rhythm of humans and animals. Plants would struggle to distinguish between day and night. The sky would appear in a constant state of twilight. Societies might experience psychological collapse due to the abrupt change in the perception of time and darkness. It would be a spectacle, but with unpredictable consequences. A supernova explosion releases gamma rays and X-rays at extremely high levels. These types of radiation are invisible to our eyes but extremely lethal to living cells. If such a wave were to hit Earth, it could cause mass genetic mutations, destroy DNA chains, and trigger a silent global extinction. Even with partial atmospheric protection, the impact on living organisms would be profound. It's a danger we cannot see, but one that transforms everything it touches. With the ozone layer compromised and intense cosmic radiation striking Earth, our atmosphere would begin to undergo severe changes. The ionosphere would be bombarded by energetic particles, generating electromagnetic storms and intense auroras across the planet. Satellites would fail, and global communications would be disrupted. Temperatures could drop drastically or rise in certain regions. The climate would become unstable and unpredictable, a planet without protection. Plankton, the foundation of the oceanic food chain, is extremely sensitive to ultraviolet radiation. With the ozone layer damaged, these organisms would be destroyed on a large scale. Without plankton, fish would disappear. Without fish, seabirds and larger predators would face population collapse. The ocean, which harbors the majority of life on Earth, would become a liquid desert. Mass extinction would begin in the sea, and it wouldn't take long to reach the land. Even if far enough to avoid direct physical destruction, a nearby supernova would trigger global alarm. Governments would activate emergency protocols. Satellites would fall. Power grids would fail. Panic, chaos, and misinformation would spread. It would be like a global blackout, but with the sky lit by a ghost sun. Humanity, so used to control, would find itself powerless in the face of an inevitable cosmic event. Night would turn into day, and fear would take hold, even of the most rational minds. Days after the explosion, a cloud of highly energetic interstellar particles would reach Earth. These particles, known as cosmic rays, would penetrate our atmosphere, triggering dangerous chemical reactions. This would alter the composition of the air, generate free radicals, and destroy the ability of certain plants to perform photosynthesis. Animals would be affected at a cellular level. The radiation would pass through tissues, silently, and permanently, altering biology. If exposure to radiation is prolonged and intense, Earth could face a new mass extinction, similar to the one that occurred 440 million years ago during the Ordovician period, possibly triggered by a supernova. Entire species would vanish, especially those most sensitive to radiation. Biodiversity would collapse. Humans, though more protected, would still be vulnerable. History shows us that the universe has done this before, and it could do it again. Exposure to cosmic radiation doesn't only affect the atmosphere and ecosystems, it penetrates living organisms, reaching their DNA. This can trigger large-scale genetic mutations. Some would be fatal, others silent, and a few might lead to adaptations. Plants could grow with deformities. Animals might develop unknown diseases. In humans, cancer rates would rise, along with hereditary changes. Over time, the very concept of biological normality would be redefined. After the initial chaos, humanity would attempt to adapt. Underground facilities, artificial magnetic shields, and isolated agricultural systems would be built to ensure survival. Communications would be reinvented. Life on the surface would become limited or tightly controlled. A new model of society would emerge, more technological, more cautious, but also more isolated from the natural world. We would be forced to rebuild, fully aware of the fragility of our place in the universe. Today, scientists monitor stars that are potential supernova candidates. Betelgeuse, for example, is a nearby contender, located about 642 light-years from Earth. While it poses no immediate threat, studying such stars helps us anticipate cosmic events. With the right technology, we could predict a supernova years or even decades in advance, enough time to protect systems, evacuate critical regions, or at the very least, prepare our defenses. Despite the danger, supernovae are visually spectacular events. If they occur at a safe distance, thousands of light-years away, they provide an unprecedented cosmic show. They would be visible to the naked eye, even during the day, for weeks. Ancient civilizations recorded supernovae in the sky as new stars. To witness one up close would be to observe the death of a star in real time, a rare privilege of conscious existence in the cosmos. The universe is beautiful, but also ruthless. A star's explosion reminds us that Earth is not isolated, it is just a grain in a cosmic ocean in constant transformation. Supernovae shape the very elements that make up our bodies. The iron in our blood was forged in the heart of an exploding star. The same force that destroys also creates. And perhaps the greatest lesson of a supernova is this: even in the violent death of a star, there is a beginning, there is renewal. The universe is bigger than we can comprehend. And its mysteries are only beginning. Every day, a new video awaits you here. If you're drawn to the unknown, then you're in the right place. Subscribe, and keep exploring the dark side of the cosmos with us.